Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yonna Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yonna Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yonna Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yonna Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yonna Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yonna head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yonna branch located countrywide near you.
Much for watching. This is Kerr Fatou and my name is Buba Gajigo. Well, I am standing at the middle of Latrikunda Lower Basic School, and then this is a big school. That's why it is divided into two. In front of me is of course Latrikunda Lower Basic School proper, and then at my background is the annex. Well, in fact, that is not the reason we are here. We are here because we got information that some of the teachers are engaged in a sit-down strike. A lot of them are not coming to school, according to the information that we got. So we are here to find out. But as you can see on the background, we've not seen a single student in the school. So we are going to interview the headmaster at proper and also the headmaster at annex. Follow me inside. First, tell us your name and your position.
My name is Tijan Sise. I'm the head teacher, Latrikunda Saviji, Annex LBS.
We got information that your teachers are on strike. They are on sit-down strike. And this is because they are not paid their COVID-19 allowances. How true is this?
Yeah, this is very true, definitely. We are all part of the affected teachers. My school here, we have a 10 in number. We are the ones that were working from Mondays to Saturdays during the breakdown of the COVID. So actually, we were expecting this money since October. So up till now, there is no positive action. So this is what led us to sit down as directed by our union. We got a copy that we should go to work, and when we come, we will put down our tools. Here we are in the office, but actually not doing any meaningful work, except my few office work that I'm just engaged on here. Yeah.
What were you engaged in before this strike? Have you contacted the authorities before being engaged in this strike?
Yes, actually, as I said, since October, I myself, I remember I wrote many corresponding letters sent to regional office, the other one to GTU secretariat since October. So I don't know where things went wrong, but we are surprised. That's why he said, if you don't know what's going on, when we sit down, we'll know what's going on. But I think right now our message has reached the right authorities now. But this morning I was called by the PS. He came to the school on a visit, and then he asked me to send the names of teachers involved, which I did this morning. In fact, it was done sometime, since October. But I don't know why he didn't lay hands on those correspondence. But he himself spoke to me that he should send it again, which I did right now.
Does it mean that they did not respond to any of your letters that you sent in?
Well, this is what I want to believe. Oh, it didn't reach at him, because he said I should write it to him, meaning that he doesn't access this correspondence. So I don't know where the fault lies, from the office, regional office, to the ministry. But we wrote, and I have my corresponding letters here with me as evidence. So where the problem lies exactly, we don't know. This is why we took up this action to sit down, and then eventually something has to happen. Because we are expending this money since October. We are budgeting ourselves, but to no avail. Every month we have disappointments. So this is why we want to sit down and wait for a while.
We have seen that your school is completely empty. It seems like there are no teachers and the students are also not here. Is it that all you are affected?
No, not all of them, but as I told you, that most of our teachers are affected. Yes, so especially in the afternoon grades. They're the one that used to come on Saturdays. So, and actually, it's not a very large number, but the number of teachers, as I tell, is about 10 of us in this thing, and then some of us are classroom teachers. So you find that when the others are on this thing, so we also have to be part of it because we are affected. So we show solidarity, and then after all, it's part of us. We are affected directly. So we have to do something, so that something has to happen for us.
So how is this affecting the learning of students in the school?
Actually, there will be lots of contact hours. Definitely, lots of contact hours. So we will see how we can manage that. Teachers, we are very generous. We even come here on Saturdays on weekend classes. So we will see how best we can cover our syllabus before the end of the academic year. For that, we have sympathy for our children and we love them. But actually, we are working for something. If that something is not coming, we are forced to do something to make them understand that we need our monies as quickly as possible. But we'll definitely do something for our children. Because even yesterday they came, we gave them assignments to take it home and do some work. We are very sorry for the situation, what has happened, but it's not our wish. Yeah.
So what is the way forward? What do you think is the way forward about this problem?
This problem, they should settle us as quickly as this month. It shouldn't pass this month. When we pass this month, I'm sorry, people cannot just bear that because we have been bearing so long since the first time. October, November, December, January. About 4 months now we are bearing. So, but I hope when everything is settled down, definitely work will come back to normalcy and then things will be resolved in the quickest possible time. But upon payment of this money, yes. Otherwise, I'm not seeing any way out of it.
Are you resuming or you don't know?
Well, I wouldn't say exactly, but I'm here every day. And the few kids that come, we attend to them, but most of them are not coming because they are in sympathy with us. Because some of them and their parents, when they heard of this story, they will say, definitely the government should pay you because this money is, it's your legitimate monies, and you should have these things since the start of the year. But see, still nothing has happened. But we'll definitely manage the situation and then forge ahead with them. Yeah.
I'm Mr. Njai. I'm a senior teacher in the school here.
Which school?
Latikunda Sabijilo Basic School.
All right. So can you tell us, you understand that some of the teachers are on strike because of these COVID-19 allowances. When did you start, if this is true?
Yes, this has started just about 2 days ago. That was on Tuesday. That's the time the young teachers, especially the young teachers, because in our school here, many were involved in the Saturday classes. Because when this COVID issue came, that was last year, we do not have enough classes. So, and we were told that each class should not exceed 25 students. So what we did was we need to strategize our situation. So we were engaging teachers from Monday to Saturday. So last year, they asked us to send, before school closed last year, academic year, we were told to send the list to the regional office, which we did. So later on, we were also asked again to send another list. So we sent the list again. That was in November. We sent the other list. So we were told that by December, you will be paid. So December came, they said, I don't know what was the problem, but they promised that January they will pay the allowance. So end of January, when teachers went to the bank to collect their salaries, they realized that these funds were not paid. So that's the time they told us that now they are going to put down their tools until they are paid. So as you can see now, the school is empty. It's only the administration which is here. So That's the case. The list, we sent the list for 2 occasions. As you can see right now, the list is with me here. We have about 17 teachers who were involved. The administration were 6 people, and then the teachers were 21. That will give you 27 members. So this list we have been sending it. We send a copy to the regional office. We send a copy to the GTU. That was just in November. So this morning, even the PS came here to find out the situation, and he even told us to provide the list for him, so which we have already done. And then I know that in the next minutes he'll be able to have access to the list. But the list has been sent for several occasions.
We understand that a lot of it's like there is no student here in the school, and also we've not seen a lot of teachers. Is it that all your teachers are affected?
Yes, in our school, I can say that 75% of the teachers were affected, because we have about 27 teachers who were affected. So that means that most of the teachers were affected. And in the morning, they came, and then they signed, and then they left.
This strike will continue until when?
Well, it is not our desire for this strike to continue. What we are advocating is for the ministry to work hand in hand with the stakeholders, so that this issue can be addressed as quickly as possible. Definitely, we don't want the children to be affected, and they should not be affected because of this issue. So we are advocating from the ministry to do their level best to make sure that these funds are paid to the teachers, so that we can get the teachers back to class.
When the PS came here today, did he explain the reason they delayed these payments?
No, he did not tell us anything. He just requested for the list, but he did not tell us anything.
Thank you very much. We are now at Talending Lower Basic School and also Upper Basic School. Of course, this is the primary school, that is the annex, and then on my left is the Upper Basic School. So we are here also to find out whether there is learning going on. Well, we first started with the primary school. We've seen students in the classrooms and some teachers, but the headmaster refused to talk to us, saying that the GO doesn't allow him to talk. But at the upper basic school, what we observe is there is no learning. As you can see, the classrooms are empty. Well, we have found the principal here also, but he also said he is not going to talk to us. So we are going to move and see if we can talk to the task force, the Gambia Teachers Union, and of course the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Thank you very much. So we are at Bakote Upper and Senior Secondary School. Well, we are here to find out about the school because this school is also in Region 1. But not only that, we want to interview a person who is part of the task force that are fighting about this COVID-19 allowances. So we'll interview him and also find out exactly what is happening in the school, whether there is learning or not. So you can follow me inside.
My name is Alhaji Bambo Jaju, a teacher posted at Bakote Upper and Senior Secondary School. I am the Vice Chairperson of COVID-19 Task Force Committee.
Tell us about this task force. When did you create this and why?
Yeah, the task force was created on Monday after when the union failed to update us as promised, and then we deem it necessary that probably the union is maybe siding with the central government not to pay us the allowances. So this is why we decided as teachers who are affected to come up with this task force. And there we have representatives all the way from Region 1 and then Region 3. These are the specifically regions that are affected.
So now tell us about this strike. What is this strike about?
The strike is all about our allowance that we are supposed to pay since last year, 2021, but have been dragged up to 2022. The months that we supposed to receive this salary is supposed to be on October. In October, we were promised that our allowances will be paid. It didn't work. We lodged complaints. The authorities said they will pay in November, It didn't work. We lodged complaints. They said finally in December, after when receiving our salaries, we realized that the COVID allowance was not paid. So we lodged complaints, and they said, come January 2022, your COVID-19 allowance will be paid. Unfortunately, again, the allowance was not paid. So we decided to, make queries, and then the GTU take it up. When they took it up, on the 27th of January, they issued a release that we should give them time for them to meet the authorities, which we did. They meet the authorities and then came back to us and said we should still give them time till on the 2nd of February. Then they will give us the final version of the allowance or the saga. But unfortunately, we have been giving them dates and time, but still they did not realize. So we didn't realize the payment of the allowance. So this is why we decided to, embark on the strike.
They issued a press release yesterday saying that teachers should not continue teaching until their allowances are paid. You are part of the task force, but we've seen you in school, and we've seen some other students here. Is learning ongoing?
I would like you to, from this interview, you go around and then check. We, as a task force, we declared this sit-down strike on Tuesday. Tuesday, the 8th, that was the day that we declared the sit-down strike. Because the union told us that on Monday they will give us the final version of all this saga. But it was unfortunate that we were requesting information through our Young Teachers platform to give us what have the union discussed. But unfortunately they didn't. So until when we declared the sit-down strike that night around 12 o'clock a.m. in the morning, Tuesday morning, that was the time they also came up with their own. Then we've already declared our sit-down strike. So in a nutshell, the Gambia Teachers Union, they decided to come and join us, but we already declared the sit-down strike, the task force.
Have you received any good news since you've started this strike?
Absolutely not. We didn't receive any good news.
How?
And it's like the authorities are not willing to effect the payment of the allowance. This is very sad. A cohort of teachers have already received theirs. But again, there is another group of teachers who didn't receive theirs, specifically Region 1. And if you look at the COVID-19 cases, Region 1 comprises of greater number of cases and even the greater number of deaths. But our colleagues in other regions, they received theirs. Region 1 did not receive theirs. So absolutely it's not fair.
So what is next for you? You've already been sitting for 2 days without teaching. When are you going to end this strike?
We are not ending this strike unless the authorities pay our monies, and we will not only take verbal words that yes, we've paid your money. No, they have to invite us as task force committee. We sit with them and we verify that yes, these monies are paid into our accounts, then we will call off the strike. But if they decide to say, okay, we've paid your monies, go back to school, we are not going back unless they invite the task force. Then we meet with them. We verify that yes, the monies are paid, then we will call off the strike. But otherwise, our members are keenly following us. They are listening to us.
Have they engaged you in any discussion?
Not yet. They did not engage us. They did not engage us. We also did not engage them. But we are writing to them this afternoon.
What is the way forward for all this?
The only way forward is for the authorities to pay the allowance to the teachers concerned. Otherwise, we will continue the strike. As I speak, this school, this week we're supposed to start our pre-mock. But because of the strike, we didn't start the pre-mock. And the saddest part is we receive intelligence reports from our reps in various schools that the PS, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, is going around threatening teachers that they are going to be sacked from their jobs. They are going to face consequences of this strike. We want to put it to him that in as much as he has those powers to sack any teacher or make sure that any teacher who is involved in this strike face the consequences, we have surrendered our rights and our everything to the hands of Almighty Allah. We are not scared and we are not begging, we are not striking back. We are going forward with this strike, specifically at Talindi. He was there. He find a few number of teachers there, and then he was threatening them, which is supposed not to be. So his threat to teachers is like an energizer on us. We are going to embark on this strike. In fact, when the news reaches us in our various platforms, we were very mad. As we speak now, we have 4 to 3 groups that are already full. Each group is 300 plus teachers who are in those groups. So when they received the information that the PS is going around schools to threaten teachers, everybody was very mad. So we are also signaling to him that his threat will not move us anywhere. We are going to continue this strike unless the authorities pay us our allowances. When we were coming to teach, he was in his house working from office. We were exposed to all COVID-19 virus. Our families were also put on risk. The children were also put on risk. Their families were put on risk. So if he cannot put all those dots together and sympathize with us or join us, he cannot go around schools to threaten us. What we expect him as our PS is for him to go around to the various offices that are concerned, that are responsible of paying this allowance, to talk to them so that they can pay this allowance immediately, and then we report to work. If the allowance are not paid, we are not reporting to work.
Thank you very much. We are now at the Gambia Teachers Union. Of course, they are responsible of the teachers' welfare in this country. So we are also to find out what is their stand on this, because they issued a press release yesterday telling teachers to sit down, not to teach until their allowances are paid. I mean, the teachers that are affected in the, Region 1 and Region 3. So follow me inside to find out from the union.
My name is Esa Sow. I'm the Deputy General Secretary and Officer responsible for labor relations.
All right. So we've heard that some of the teachers are engaged on a sit-down strike, and then you are the union responsible of the affairs of teachers in the country. What do you know about the problem?
The problem is about pending allowances due and owing to teachers precisely in Regions 1 and Region 3, that is KM, BCC and North Bank region. The other regions affected actually we are paid in December. So, but this money is still pending, and that's what we are pursuing with central government.
The press release that you issued yesterday, you said that after your investigations, you have found that some of these allowances were not paid. How did you do this investigation?
The investigation was a follow-up to an ultimatum or a demand that we sent. That is to say, by close of business yesterday, if the money did not land into the accounts of the teachers, we will declare an industrial action. So yesterday, around up to 4 p.m., we were at State House, we were at PMO, we were at the Accountant General's Directorate. We have seen some marked improvement in terms of paperwork between the PMO and Accountant Generals and the Ministry, but there has not been any evidence, which is the ultimate issue here, that the money has been transferred to central bank for necessary transactions. So by virtue of that, we feel that our demands have not been met, and we went into stage 1 of our strike that has to do with Regions 1 and Region 3.
Did they explain any reason why they have not paid these allowances?
That has to do with some administrative lapses, but because of the contradictions, we started to recuse ourselves from those explanations, because at some point in time, we had that because it was meant for 2021, it couldn't be paid. At some point in time, we were made to understand that it was because of the fact that there was no approval letter, so to speak. So at some point, we said that is not our business. This is why we went to the Secretary General and said, this is administrative. The fact of the matter is that finance, money has been secured from finance, but due to government red tape and bureaucratic tendencies, it's not coming out. And that is why we couldn't take it lightly.
So, your teachers are going to continue this strike until when? Have they made any promise? Have they given you a date that they will be paying these allowances?
We have been of recent avoiding talking about those things because they should be saying that. But because of this question, yes, they promised to pay today. I was told that there was a follow-up to the governor of Central Bank, so that by 1:30 p.m. today, the transfer could be done. But as far as we are concerned, that is not the case. Our issue is we want to confirm that the money has landed into the teacher's account. So we are promised strongly that by close of business today, the transfer will be effected. But we want to see whether it is sufficient enough or whether it is going to address the needs that we are asking.
In your letter, you've asked your teachers to, of course, not teach, even they go to school. And I've visited some schools. It's like most of the schools there is no learning. Was that not a harsh decision of asking teachers not to continue teaching?
Not necessarily, because in terms of process, we sent our demand, we sent an ultimatum, and we sent a notice. So we are taking action. This is a process in industrial relations. So we are just doing exactly what we are supposed to do as an organization.
So what is the way forward in all this problem?
Money into the teacher's account, period. And for them to make sure that they work around these things and make sure that matters related to teacher welfare and development is given the attention that it deserves to avert such eventualities in the future.
I'm Lee Moses Mendy, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education.
We understand that some teachers are engaged in a sit-down strike about their COVID-19 allowances. What do you know about this?
It's true. I'm aware that some teachers are on a sit-down strike. Notably, in fact, it's Monday, Tuesday, and yesterday. And that's the more reason why today I've gone out myself to see. And I visited 2 schools that were brought to my attention earlier, which is Latrikunda Sabuji and Talinding. I visited those schools today, among others. And I found out that, yes, the teachers have not reported to work, as been said. So I've confirmed. I know, like I said before, I mentioned this since on Monday, that I'm aware, and I've confirmed that today myself during the visit.
So what they are saying that they have written since October, but then you people promised that it would be paid last January, but it was not paid. What exactly happened? Why are their allowances not paid?
Let me say that if they say they have written since January, that is not accurate. I want to October. Let me say that that's not accurate. What we did was, when schools opened in October 2020, there was need for teachers to come on Saturday to teach. Otherwise, students will stay without access to teachers. But this is not across all the schools in this country. It was just a few schools that were affected or that would have required teachers teaching from Monday to Friday. And we did promise to them that we are going to ensure that they are paid. And this was programmed for end of year. And when the year ended, we solicited or requested for the data from the schools through their regional directorates. And those data that was submitted to us was verified to be able to pay appropriately, which we have done, and we've paid over 90% of the teachers who were involved in the teaching on Saturdays across the country. However, there were the remaining 10% among others, did not submit their data early, and therefore that led to also late verification and late submission and processing for payment. Notwithstanding, the ministry, in receipt of those remaining data from the regions, processed all the payments and sent them to the accountant general, which is the payment point. At that point, there was some administrative issues, and they could not be sent to their banks. And that's what delayed the payment for those remaining ones. And we brought this to the attention of the teachers' union, who as their members, so that they understand what the issue is. Because it's not that government did not provide the money. Government provided money through the Ministry of Finance. And when we got the notice through documentations, we also did the paperwork at the ministry and equally sent it for payment. But there was that administrative or some administrative issues there which we don't have control over as a ministry or as a sector. And it was important that we communicated that to the GTU and the teachers for them to understand, which we did. But unfortunately, even after the teachers were spoken to by their GTU leaders, they did not listen. they went ahead to do what they want to do.
But when did you communicate with the Gambia Teachers Union?
We did this much earlier than you do. That was what resulted to them even make...
I asked this date because they were talking about October, then January. They've written, there was no response. I want you to mention actual date that you communicated to the Teachers Union.
Like I'm saying, the teachers did not write to us in October 2021. They did not. We were getting this data through the regional office. So that's why I said, let me rectify that first. The teachers did not write to us in October 2021. We requested for the data in November so that it could be paid in December and January.
At what time did they write?
Towards the end of the year, and not all of them. As we talk, there are still some whose data we have not received. But we cannot process any data as we just receive it. We need to verify. We have to be accountable as public officers, and therefore any data we receive, especially relating to payment of monies or public funds, we need to verify to ensure that people are paid appropriately.
So when did you notify them now? The Teachers Union, I mean.
In January.
This last January?
Yes.
What was their response?
Of course, they said they were going to engage their members so that they keep calm and they will work with us to ensure we paid. However, like I said, when we processed, at our end, it got to payment point and there were some administrative issues there, which we don't have control over as a ministry. So we went back to them.
What are those administrative issues?
That is for the payment point to really clarify, because they know better why they did not pass the payments. But all I understand is there were some administrative issues that they've noticed on that.
So you said there was a late submission from some regional offices. Can we blame the regional office of late submitting some documents? That is the reason.
Not necessarily to say you blame them. Let me say that the schools are spread throughout this country. We need to go to those schools to collect data first from the school principals, and that is done by the regional officers. So those regional offices, if they do not get those information or data from the schools, it becomes a problem. I'm not blaming anybody here. We're taking full responsibility as a sector, but the blame should not be shifted either to the regional director board. But I know that those who brought it early, their data was verified and payment was effected. And
so region 1 and region 3, we can say they did not submit on time.
Region 1 and?
Region 1 and region 3. Specifically, they are saying these are the regions that are mostly affected.
No, region 1, they have some of their teachers who are paid.
So, but they say in the region 1 is the region that is mostly affected, and region 3?
No, not necessarily. Region 3 is just a few schools, and they have submitted that data. But it needs to be verified. Like I said, if, for example, you submit data relating to Louis Moses Mendy to have taught throughout the year, we need to verify that, because some schools were teaching on Saturday when they should not teach on Saturday. They are not required by the model to teach on Saturday. It is only those who teach on Monday to Saturday, and they have full-blown periods from Monday to Friday, but they are required to teach on Saturday. They are the ones that this scheme has covered in terms of payment. So we need to ensure that that is verified before we could give instructions for payment. Otherwise, we are held responsible for whatever happens. And
so you visited some schools today, as you mentioned earlier. What was the purpose of this visit?
Of course, the purpose is when information got to me that teachers were in school and not teaching or are not in school at all, I am concerned, because one, the students would have been left there without being attended to. And the primary function of the ministry is to ensure that teaching and learning is done in this country. So I wanted to go and see what is really on the ground, and then to be able to talk to my teachers, because those of them who really sat down at this point, honestly, I can tell you they've acted unreasonably. Unreasonably because they were spoken to by their GTU members for them to wait for notice. And you can see that GTU, if you wrote to the Secretary General and Head of Civil Service, notifying him of the urgency and all of that and the course of action if they fail. But the teachers did not wait for that.
Talking about the press release of the Gambia Teachers Union, but they've, of course, we understand that it's a notice, but then they have written their teachers should put down their tools until their allowances are paid.
No, what they did was they gave an ultimatum to the government through the Secretary General and Head of Civil Service to say that if these monies do not hit the accounts of the teachers by close of business today, then they would instruct or ask their teachers or their members to put down the tools. That time or moment has not been exhausted. Just like we promised them when they came yesterday, even when they met with the SG. After that, they came to my office and we also had a meeting. And we promised them that we were going to ensure that these monies are paid to them latest today or Friday, like I said in one of my interviews. And I'm happy to say that the funds have been released at the level of the central bank at this point, and it's in the various commercial banks now for those whose payment details have been verified as desired.
So some of them accuse you of going to schools and threatening some teachers that you are going to be sacked if you don't go back to school. Is this true?
Unfortunately, I did not talk to any teacher. I only spoke to some heads. So I don't know where they are getting that from. However, what I mentioned in to the school administrators that I met is that it's an unfortunate situation. I don't know why the teachers have decided to sit down without going through due process. Everything that we do should be done through due process. We operate through regulations and rules, and we must exhaust all those processes for us to take another option that is not desired and detrimental to the students. The teachers, for example, have not even come to meet me or meet my regional directors or so. All they did is to submit this documentation to them, and that's that. And besides, they were, like I said earlier on, they were engaged by the GTU, who is their superior and who they are answerable to as their members. And they asked them to remain calm as they worked with government to ensure that their benefits or these allowances are paid. Remember, we are not talking here about salary, we are talking about allowances. And there are clear regulations in terms of payment of allowances and salaries. So their sit-down strike, really, the non-payment of this does not warrant any one of them to sit down. That is the truth. And they should, I would have expected that they know this, because as teachers, they should know the regulations. These are people who are supposed to educate. And when you are educating, you should be informed of all the regulations and the rules, especially that govern your profession. And that's the unfortunate way, and that's what I'm disappointed about. And I expressed that to the administrators that I have met. So I have not threatened any teacher, but whoever falls outside, of course, the rules will definitely be applied.
So what is the way forward for this, and what final message do you have for all the teachers?
No, my message is for my teachers to really come back to teach the children. That is the primary message I have. The children should not be left unattended to. They should not be left unthought, because that is not what we want. We have already suffered enough in the last academic year through COVID. And I must say I'm happy that in some schools, teachers are committed to ensuring that they do even extra classes for a catch-up time. MOPSI, we had a catch-up program and plan, which most teachers have really gone out to support. However, there are these ones who are just a few among those. So my message for them is to really go back to school and be able to teach the children and wait patiently for the payment of these monies. They will be certainly paid. We cannot pay over 90% of those who were involved and then refuse to pay the remaining 10%. So
how soon do you think this payment will be done?
As I said, as we talk today, today, the accounts, the central bank has already released the funds from their account to the various banks' accounts of these teachers who are involved. But I want to stress that those who have not been verified yet will be verified in the due course and will be paid subsequently as we proceed, because we need to be accountable. We need to verify them before we give instructions for payment. What happens tomorrow is we will be held responsible for wrongly spending public funds, and we cannot afford to do that as a sector.
Thank you very much. This is all we have for you for today. We visited some schools in the Latrikunda proper and annex. We have also visited Talinding lower basic school and the upper basic school. Right now we are at Bakote upper and senior school. Well, among the schools that we visited in region 1, there is no learning. Some teachers did not turn out. Some who came are not in fact teaching. Well, in other schools you don't see students, but in other schools we found students, but they are not inside their classroom. There is no learning that is ongoing here. I am Buba Gajigo with my cameraman Omar Ndao.
Agada.
Mbijan raganyani.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyinji.
Okay. Korsan. Nsila ID soton.
Sa soton. Sorry. Agada.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariya.
Mbare.
Mo ki janna nun kunu bara tariya.
Jannom Yonna forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia jang.
Ha?
Gambia kono anin Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw. Jannam number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale le dadi mani domorol ni fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat.
Apelenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e bina.
Yalo bu kanyi la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innova Rx Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innova Rx Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.